Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time. We're back with our friend, Mr. Todd Baldwin. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on.
So we're going to change it up. We talk real estate, we talk wealth, we talk cash flow all the time. I want to go back to you and I being commission-based salespeople.
Yes.
And I want to talk about what we would recommend, what we would do, or we would recommend our friends do if they're commission-based salespeople into a recession. Because I've been through 3 or 4 of them as a salesperson, first line, second line, and it could be nerve-wracking. Clients cut budgets, a lot more hurdles to get through, more justification. It's just a very, very yucky environment. And if you're not ready for it, you can get highly stressed out. So let's play some ping pong. You talk one, I talk one. What would you tell sales reps to do in an environment like this?
Yeah. Okay. So I'll start with a little bit. I'll start with a couple things. So the first thing that I will tell all sales reps is you have to understand your client's needs, wants, and desires. So for me, there are actually only ever 5 reasons to buy something. So you want to make sure you're as much as the 5 as possible. And I'll give you the 5 reasons so everyone listening can find out. So the 5 reasons, in my opinion, to buy something is if you buy something that will make you money, save you time, provide security or transportation, or it's entertainment and leisure. In a crash, I try to make sure I get at least one or all of the first 4, because people are spending less money on entertainment and leisure if the world is crumbling down. But if I can sell them something that will save them money, save them time, make them money, right? That's an opportunity where I can actually go provide them value. So now that that's out of the way, I will say that my first one on our ping pong game here is make sure you understand the industry that you're in, the industry that your clients are in, and really how you can provide them value and how buying whatever your product or service is will actually improve their business.
Oh, I love that. I love those 5 things. And I guess the first thing I would tell a sales rep in this environment is you better love your customers. What do I mean by that? Again, when you're a salesperson, you have customers, install base, and you have prospects. They don't have your stuff. A lot of sales reps in the good times, they go after prospects because that's where the 7-figure deals are, right? That's where you blow your quota out. You make a bunch of money. You're the hero on stage, blah, blah, blah. In a recession, as they start and as they build, those are harder and harder and harder and harder and harder. In a recession that we're going through, I would spend more and more time with my install base. I know we're talking about incremental sales. I want them to get rock solid references. I want to make sure they're using their PSO or professional services hours. I want to be as intimate with that client, right? If I had a list of 20 accounts and 8 of them were customers, I would spend 90% of my time with 8 because I want to make sure A, they're using what they have so it's sticky, and B, it's easier to get an incremental license sale there or cross sell other products. So the first thing I would do is I would change my focus. Last year, sales reps were probably 70% new, 30% farm. First thing I would tell you is that changes drastically in a recession. I've been through it. If you keep prospecting in new accounts, you have a hard year ahead of you. It's painful.
Yeah, absolutely. The next thing that I will say is when I've been in commission sales, I always wanted to be on the need side and not the want side. So for example, I actually do intend to someday start a brokerage service where I help high net worth individuals get like yachts, Lamborghinis, Ferraris, because it's a pain in the ass to get. It takes a lot of paperwork and time. But anyway, set that aside for a second. That would be like one of my businesses. If it's my 9-to-5 job, I hesitate to use the term recession proof because I don't think anything truly is. But what I was selling insurance. So liability insurance for your business or health insurance for your employees. Those are things that you have to have. And so it's not like I was a luxury item. I wasn't selling like Rolexes or whatever, like things that people don't actually need that they just want. I was selling things that you have to either keep your business operating or attract enough people during this recession to your company that want to work from you, namely, good benefits. So being in an industry that is not necessarily as sexy, there's nothing glamorous about selling insurance, but it is definitely a need, not a want. And so when the recession comes, people still have to buy liability insurance to protect themselves.
Yeah. Another thing that I would tell you, you have to get comfortable with, and this never made me feel good, but it's kind of where we are at. A couple of recessions I went through. You have to get comfortable with the talk track of "I can help you whack heads." Here's the again. I have an accounting background, econ, all this stuff. So one of the things you need to realize is when you sell enterprise software, it is often capitalized, which means a little bit comes off all the time. Employees are overhead or operational costs. They hit the bottom line immediately. So if you can go in and say, hey, I can whack $1 million in headcount, and by the way, I'm going to charge you 400 grand. That is a very sexy equation, especially if you're in an industry where you got to get earnings per share. There are so many zombie software companies today that are cash flow negative that you could go in and just help them cash flow, or you can get earnings per share neutral.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I remember 2 meetings specifically where it was me and a senior VP. He pulled out a spreadsheet and said, okay, I've got the 400 grand or 800 grand for your software. You have to tell me who I can let go. That's a rough conversation, right? That doesn't make you feel good. But again, you're in the job to sell stuff, and both deals closed. So again, back to your kind of 5 things. If the recession really gets going, I would only be selling automation. I'd be selling automation or security, right? Prevent bad things from happening, i.e. security, cybersecurity, all of that, or automation. That's where this whole luxury and nice to have nonsense and pretty pictures and charts and all that, not important. Save, or secure. That's all I'd be selling once this gets going.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'll say, the next thing that I would recommend, and this is pretty much for any salesperson, regardless of a crash or not, is try to provide 10 times the value for what you're getting paid. So for example, I recently got a check for $100,000. It took me 47 hours, and actually Business Insider picked it up and they just released a story on it that I'm going to post to social media shortly. Wow. So I made 100 grand in 47 hours. A lot of people, their mind is blown by that. They think, how in the world is that possible? What the article will tell you, and what I will tell you, is that I solved $1 million problem. And so the fact that I took 47 hours of my time and I helped someone either make $1 million or keep $1 million, right? They were more than happy to pay me 100 grand. In other words, the value that I was providing was 10 times the amount that I was paid. Now, I'll make 100 grand a week all day. I mean, for me, that's great pay, right? I'm 30 years old, 100 grand a week. That's like $5 million a year. Awesome. Cool. But the only reason I'm able to do that is because I provide 10x the value.
Right. Yeah. Again, what I would tell sales folks, I don't know how to say this without pissing some of them off. In a good market, many of you are just transaction coordinators. Aren't doing. And again, I'm in the Valley. I remember when Netscape Navigator came out, it sold itself. I knew people were getting paid millions of dollars a year to sell this stuff, and they didn't do squats except stand next to the fax machine. Back then, they actually had fax machines. So again, some of you in a good time are transaction coordinators selling on the reputation of the company. In a recession, it's you. And some of you don't have a very good reputation. You've cut corners, you haven't followed up, you haven't done these things. I think being a commission-based salesperson is one of the best jobs to ever have, because I love being in control. I love eat what I kill, if you will. And also I like being close to revenue, because that's the last thing to get cut, right? I don't like being like, when I was an accountant going through in a recession, I was like, I'm just one, monkey next to the next one. And one of us is going to go. Is it me? Is it him? Who knows? I didn't like that. So get close to revenue. And the other thing to talk about is, if this is your first time, because the last 10 years have been pretty good, realize that the longer you're in this game, recessions come and go. So learn something through this, add some tools to your tool bag, get better, because things are coming. So let's wrap this up. If you have any closing thoughts, and then close with where people can find you.
No, yeah, I echo you. If you're on the side of revenue, you're the last to get cut because you're making the company money. And if you're making the company more than you're costing them, they'll never cut you. So with that, yeah, if you guys want to follow me on Instagram, it is at Todd J. Baldwin.
And I look forward to this Business Insider article, because again, 10x the value. Yeah, if you bring $1 million, you should get paid 100 grand. Nice work.
Thank you.